your first love? And when was that?
I think the first time I ever felt like an adult love, because I feel like there is puppy love, there's teenage love, there's full on adult love. I was like 20, 21, around that age.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old was he?
Like 7 or 8 years older than me.
7 or 8 years older.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And what about you? When do you think you felt love the first time, or like you had burning, genuine desire for somebody?
So I'm gonna be honest. I think my first love was my previous relationship. So I guess two exes ago now.
And that wasn't that long ago. You said you're 21, so
Um,
like how old were you when that happened?
I turned 20 with him.
Okay. Okay.
So
So yeah, just like a year or two ago.
yeah, just it was recent.
Okay.
For sure.
And then so I want to know what happened with that or how did you get over them? What was the thing that you had to do to just completely get over like that first love?
Um, I'll never forget, like, there was a conversation that was had between me and the other party at that time. And I don't know if it was just like a light bulb clicked in my head, but like with the way the situation started, with the way it was, because it was like situationship as hell, back and forth, up and down. I remember I made a comment and I had said, even though you're older than me in age, I'm going to outgrow you mentally in this situation.
Yeah.
And that is really what
Wow.
happened.
You ended up outgrowing him.
Yeah, for sure.
And but did you outgrow him like financially or just maturity, like just like emotionally, like how he was acting?
Maturity, emotionally. He was really selfish, and I'm not into that. That's never been my thing.
He was a taker.
Very,
and you were
very
a giver.
Much, and I'm a very give.
I gotta ask.
That person, there was so much take with them.
Was he cheating? I gotta ask.
Oh well, of course.
Yeah.
Community dick.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it was a given. I feel like I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But what?
It's my favorite phrase.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, how did you get over like that first love? I know it was recently, but did you get over it? Like, how did you do it? If
So I'm gonna be honest. My first love, the relationship was abusive, so that for sure helped me get over it.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I put my I put my happiness first at some point.
Yeah.
But let's take out the abuse side of things and like the actual love. I don't think I ever got over that love until I became really infatuated with somebody else. Like until I found somebody else who I could love again. I think the trauma, as long as as well as the relationship,
it'll follow
you.
Yeah.
Was still there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So one of the big things that like Stefan talks about is that like most people are like in broken relationships today. Like 90% of people are like in broken relationships today, and the reason why is because like there's a big problem with the distinction between having a connection with somebody and then having compatibility or chemistry with them. So a lot of people think that compatibility or chemistry is what is the right thing. Like you have all these things that you're compatible with, or like y'all got chemistry on these certain topics or something. Right. But it's like, really, it's about that connection, like that burning, genuine desire. Like, do you have that connection with them? Like, that's all that matters. And one of the things that he was saying, the reason why 90% of relationships aren't working today is because in those first loves, whenever you have that first love, you give everything to them. You do everything like you pour out your heart and your spirit and everything. And when you do that and that you lose it and you get that heartbreak, you're like, I'm never doing that again. Right. I'm never giving somebody that same love again.
And then I got stuck again.
Yeah. And then you do it again.
Yeah. But what he was teaching was that, so what sometimes a vicious cycle that a traumatic cycle that a lot of women start after that first love is over, after that first breakup and they're traumatized, they go and they search out certain kinds of men that they want to build up. And they'll build on this guy, and it's because they want the leverage in the relationship. They want to feel like they're the top dog in the relationship. So they'll choose these guys that are under them, or they perceive as lower than them in some way, and it's sabotaging both of you, because the guy's either going to end up, you're going to disrespect the man and he's going to leave as soon as he's built up enough. He's going to go cheat, or he's going to leave because he finally he doesn't want to be with the girl that perceives herself as above him, and he's tired of the disrespect been going through. Like, he'll stay with you for a while, but as soon as he's able to upgrade, he'll do it. And then the woman will end up cheating because she never really liked that guy, because she she feels like she settled or she went down or she tried to fix him. This is usually people that are trying to fix people, though, you know. But I feel like a lot of relationships today are that dynamic
They are
of where like
trying to save somebody.
yeah, you're trying to save someone, and in the end, one of y'all is gonna f it up.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's gonna f it up, you know. But I want to know, do y'all think that you might be in a situation like this? Do you think that you might have an issue like this, or do you see yourself as the type of person that you're actually single because you're avoiding getting into one of these type of relationships?
I wouldn't say that it's because I'm avoiding it because of like oh, well, I'll never do this for somebody again. It's just time is really, really precious. And I know that you know that I'm like very, very, very deep on that at the moment, just with everything that's happened to me recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can't, like everybody says their biggest regret is how much time they wasted on somebody that didn't work out.
No.
And you don't get that time back. So I feel like it's more so looking out for my own, how much I'm giving versus what's given back to me, and not expecting reciprocity, because I mean, some people just can't do it.
Yeah.
They just won't.
Yeah.
And they don't know better.
Yeah. So what about you?
So, man, time is everything, but you don't realize how much time you put into something until
after
it's over.
The fact, yes.
I for sure can say I've literally, in this short amount of time today, I've had a realization. Like, I believe I've stuck with people to see the growth, but
did they grow?
Maybe it's not the growth that maybe I believe in growth, but maybe it wasn't the growth that I was hoping for. Maybe it was me wanting to build a man into a way that he's just not capable of being.
Yeah.
You know, like it. So maybe I will say I do want people to grow, but also now I do see how it could just be a building the man that I want him to be, rather than him growing to be a better man. You know,
and sometimes
I can see that
people depend on you so hard, like they're not thinking about growing. And even though you have their best interest at heart, like they're just thinking about, oh my God, I have to depend on you. I have to depend on you. I have to depend on you, even though they really need to depend on themselves, but they don't.
Yeah. And I'm finding a lot of guys don't know how to love correctly today. Right. So like, even if y'all find a guy, the like the hope of him,
love can be really twisted.
Yeah, and like, and this is very normal though, because you know, like one big thing I like to talk about on the show is like, y'all are supposed to respect your man. The man is supposed to love. Like, the man's supposed to love his wife, but how many men are loving correctly, you know? So like, and that's why I was thinking about, I was like, why are women not respecting correctly? It's like, oh, a lot of men aren't loving correctly. And that's why the cycle is also off because of that as well. You know, there's a lot of factors to it, but it really goes back to that provisioning. Like, what really makes you have a connection with the guy is knowing that you can be safe and secure with him. And how can you be safe and secure with somebody that's living paycheck to paycheck? You know, it's not possible. So you feel y'all have the leverage with most men. Like, if you're a successful woman today, or just somewhat successful, you have the leverage in most relationships with most guys, unless y'all run into one of those alpha guys. But we can't get those guys to settle, as we've talked about many times on the show. You know, it's very hard.